Okay, so with that, I'm going to ask the characters to introduce themselves. And if you could tell us a little bit about your character. And I would say a little bit where your character's mind is at, if I can ask that. Like, so what are they, are they thinking about getting the group out? Are they thinking about, oh, this is much bigger than us? It's me, or like, I have to prioritize myself, or whatever they're thinking. I'm not going to plant thoughts in. So I am going to start with Jasa.
Great. I'm Ed. I play Jasa. Jasa is a halfling rogue, a very perceptive halfling rogue. Uh, and she has a sort of her history as having been a gladiator and doing primarily team-based battles, and has learned through that you need to watch out for your teammates if you want to be successful and survive. And she feels that the same applies here. She has a much better chance of getting out of this with everyone together than she does on her own. So she's very focused on making sure that we all get out of this.
All right. We'll go over to Vic.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex. I'm playing Vic Valentine. He is a half elf bard. And after the events that took place with the Myconoids and our quick exit there, probably similar to Jasa. He's over time here come to realize he doesn't necessarily have a home to go back to, or having been kind of sold out by his family to the Drow. These people that he's with are all he's got, and so he takes it very personally, that he wants to see through that everybody gets out safe, and that includes Stool, their tiny companion, and now by extension everyone else as well. And so he's pretty committed to whatever he can do to ensure that everybody gets back to where they need to be, where they'll be safe. That's his goal.
All right. Moving over to Drazzle.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm playing Drazzled, a lizard folk cleric, who eh, most of what he's been looking at is a desire to get out and get back to the sunlight where he feels comfortable. But in the general vein, he notices that people come, people go, some of them die, some of them have their heads blow up right in front of you for no clear reason. And that this is just part of the overall circle of life, and that he's accepted it, but he's starting to recognize that numbers of people he knows and can rely on are dwindling, and he's starting to become a little bit more protective of those few who remain.
All right. Uh, Last and certainly not least is Dolphix.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I play Dolphix. He is a gnome fighter. Dolphix used to be a tutor for a noble house, and as such, he was well versed in battle strategy and the history of wars and stuff like that. And I think he's started to realize the existential threat that having multiple demon lords arriving in his world is going to have. Um, but also, given their experience with the many different varying communities of the Underdark, he's he's very pretty sure that the Underdark isn't going to be able to do much to stop the demon lords. So his focus is get to the surface, get some people who are much more powerful than he is alerted to the threat, and hopefully get everyone he knows out alive.
All right. Thank you. And so where we're going to start is so you would have had a long rest, so make sure you mark that. And you start about a half day out of um, of the Neverlit Grove. And so the plan is as follows. There are two circles who came with you. There's the circle of builders and the circle of explorers. The circle of explorers was the original circle that came with Basidia into the grove. And so she trusts them most of all. And Basidia's plans, and she's quite open with the group of you, certainly because you got them out of there faster than they would have, right? Basidia's plan is that they are going to reestablish a colony. They're going to travel a distance away, reestablish a colony, and then vigilantly monitor for this corruption that they felt this time in the Grove, in the Neverlit Grove. Rasharu has offered, and gladly offered, will bring you pretty much up to the doorstep of Blingdenstone. And so at some point in the journey, your two paths are going to split. The big group of Myconoids is going to leave you, including Stool, and the rest of you will continue with Rasharu. And so it's about a 14-day trip. We're gonna not entirely gloss over it, but we'll highlight the important things. But if there's anything you guys want to do along the way, please let me know. In terms of navigation and food, you guys are golden. Like, this is the best you've had it because Rasharu's around. And so not only can he find you mushrooms, he's good enough to actually find you meat. And so for many of you, this is the first time you're actually having like substantial meals. Of course, the Myconoids don't participate, but everyone is pretty happy about that. And then I should say that in addition to Stool, you have two others traveling with you. One is Darendil, Prince Darendil, who is a Quaggoth, who apparently at some point got transformed from a moon elf into a Quaggoth, and he's trying to he also talks in very funny, for those of you who know Elvish, very funny High Elvish, just a very strange dialect. And then you have, I'm totally forgetting her name. I just blanked on it. It was in my head a second ago. The dwarf.
Oh,
Why am I? I'm totally blank. I just had it. Oh,
Like
it's killing me.
Eldeth.
Yeah, Eldeth. Thank you. You have Eldeth, who's a stone dwarf. She is she lives in the caves, but not quite the Underdark. And she is trying to get home. She was also one of the both of them were kidnapped and in the prison cells with you guys. So with that, we'll start on day one. Is there anything in particular you guys are attempting to do along this way? Your goal now is to get to Blingdenstone, and from Blingdenstone to get them to explain to you where a tunnel to the surface is. So anything you want to do on day one specifically?
I don't
No.
believe that I have anything beyond getting there.
Okay, so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna steam pile a couple of these. So can the four of you make me perception checks with advantage? For this is going to be the night watch, basically. Okay. So the night comes and goes. You guys all set up watches, and the community is all helping you out. Particularly the Myconoids, who have some ability to feel, like when something is approaching. But all in all, it seems pretty safe. You don't. You are very, very certain, all of you, that no one has fled. No one has followed you from the Grove. It doesn't seem like they were that interested in making sure, like they didn't care that you got away. In other words. So that's day one. I'd say moving into day two, you all you realize how easy travel is with Rasharu, right? There is literally no second guessing directions, right? And so you are weaving and sometimes even going into things that are completely blocked by mushrooms that you wouldn't even notice, the tunnels that you're taking. And most of the paths that you are traveling are actually not well traveled. Like, he really knows his stuff. and you guys don't move entirely fast because you have some sprouts like Stool who just are a little bit slower. But I would say somewhere along the day, particularly through Pisidia and also Rasharu, you do learn a little bit about Blingden Stone. And most importantly, that Blingden Stone was completely destroyed at some point, and it has only been resettled in the last 10 or so years. So the Deep Gnomes have only come back, and it's not in any good shape at all. It's not what it used to be. It used to be a very, very secretive Deep Gnome colony. And at some point, they chose not to reveal themselves. And they, the Drow, there was a huge war. And the Drow came in and destroyed the place and drove the Deep Gnomes out. And so that was hundreds of years ago, and now only 10 years ago did the Deep Gnomes, about 10 years ago, did the Deep Gnomes start resettling and trying to take back this city. There's no Drow in it anymore. It's just wild and not a city really. It's just ruins of a city. Okay, day 2. If there's nothing else, you do guys. You occasionally you come across, I don't know, like maybe some fire beetles or things that are easily avoidable or easily gotten rid of that pose really no threat for you. So at the end of day 2, I would like you all to make a perception check again. With advantage. So you'll have advantage until they split off from you. Right. So another day, you guys are all paying specific attention to whether or not anyone has come from the Grove to follow you, and you're pretty confident that that has not happened. Moving into day 3, I think day 3 is probably a day where after you have revealed to Basidia the song you heard talking about Zaktamoy trying to pervert all of the fungus, and particularly Aramikos, the largest organism on Earth in the Forgotten Realms. She's pretty dire. Like she is worried. Like she's really, really worried about that possibility. She feels fairly powerless, I would say. And so I think the Myconoi really communicate through this, like the telepathic link, and it's not really words, but more emotions. The more and more you're hanging around with Basidia and you're connected to her, the more you feel a little bit of a pleading, like this clear, like, please help us, we can't. Like there's maybe a little bit of defeatism that just because she's moving away she knows that that's not going to be enough. And she's not asking you anything directly, but it's very clear through the bond that you're starting to feel that.
I think Vic would ask her, we're going to Blingden Stone. Clearly, you're not of the city or whatnot, but is there anyone that she's aware of that we could like rally for support against this thing that is clearly probably beyond the 4 of us to deal with right now? But we've met these scholars. Maybe you're aware of them. I forget what the name of the Enlightened Society or
the Society of Brilliance. Yeah.
Society of Brilliance. Maybe drop that name. Like, are they someone we could reach out to kind of help understand what we're up against?
And she has met one of the Society of Brilliance, who is their name, I guess their name is just a Y, a Darrow, and their name is, they are particularly they've always been interested in fungus. Like that's like the natural plant world of the Underdark has always been their area of study. So Basidia knows why, and she says yes, of course. If we like, that is an excellent place to start. I don't know. Perhaps in Blingdenstone you'll see one of them, or. And she asks you, do you have a way to contact any of them?
We tend to see them, but not call them.
She says, oh, that's, I know she probably had this at some point in your knowing each other, not necessarily at this right moment, but she does tell you at some point there's only 5 of them. So the fact that you've met 2 already is like crazy coincidence that you would have met 2 of them, and now you're talking about a 3rd. So she says they're not everywhere, right? So we can pray for some luck that perhaps one will be in Blingdenstone, and she's aware of their ability to communicate amongst each other quickly, and so perhaps that. And she says, failing that, if you at least let the surface world know of what's going on down here, like this is, I don't expect the Drow to help us. I don't expect they only care about themselves. I don't expect the other groups down here to really have the power to do anything, like sort of like you said.
Mm-hmm. Quite. That is most definitely the plan as of the moment.
And she thanks you. She understands that, right? There's nothing, even all of you, the 40 or so of you who are traveling together, there's nothing as a group you could do against this. Partially because you don't understand it, right? Like you don't understand what really is going on, but partially because these beings are so massive in comparison to you. So, so I think she probably leaves that with the idea that the faster you alert people who know these things, the quicker it can be fixed and perhaps less permanent damage. So it's the end of day 3. I need you all to make a perception check again. Sorry, we're just doing. All right, just so I know where the rolls end and begin. Day 4 comes and goes, or starts. And in day 4, you can, amongst the telepathic bonds, you can definitely feel it, like, something is different going on. And at a certain point, Basidia comes to you and says, this is the day we split. And she says, I think the first thing she does, and what she spends most of her time doing, is thanking you for caring about Stu. Because it's a rare quality, right? Like these myconoids aren't common. People mistake them for some sort of monster. And the fact that you took one of the most vulnerable of the myconoids and brought him across the Underdark back to his home, she's grateful for that, and she hopes that in the future the myconoids pay you kindness, 1,000-fold for what you did, and that she will certainly spread that story. And then there's a little bit of it's not regret, but a hesitation, I'd say. Like, she recognizes that she will have some of the explorers who have some ability to hunt, but they are going back to being a little bit on the run and a little bit very vulnerable when they leave you. And she does tell you, she's like, we plan to walk, 2, 3, 10 days before we settle, and and find a grove. Some of the explorers know of places that are wet and soggy and would make excellent homes. Stool is incredibly upset.
At our departure,
Yes. Right. I don't think there's any question in his mind that he's going with Lucidia. But there are, like kids do, a lot of unfeasible ideas in his head about what could be, right? And so he's a little bit sullen. He's a little bit he sort of has spurts of like excitement, like, oh, what if you guys did this, followed by just recognition that that can't possibly happen.
why not little man come with us?
um
Well, we're going far from his home, and he's with his people now. It's best that he stays with them. He doesn't belong on the surface.
Vic's gonna go up to Stool and just kind of, take a knee and get down to Stool's level, even though he doesn't have a face or whatever. But this is how he knows how to relate to a child.
right.
And he just says, "Hey, Stool, we got through some tough times together, and Vic and Jason and Drazzle and Dolphix, all of us, we got to go up top. We got to go see our friends and see if we can get some help for what's going on down here. As you heard Basidia say that Aramicus is real sick, and we're going to be able to go and get some of our friends to come on down and help your home be normal again."
But then you'll come back. You'll come visit us.
Well, I'm going to do my best to try, but you got to be strong now. You got to be strong for the whole colony here. You're going to have to set down some roots far from here. And you've learned a lot being with us about. You've seen some strange things. You'd be able to tell them all about some of your troubles that we've seen, and Shushnar would be real proud of you if you do that.
And so you recall, and I've said this probably once or twice in this, but Stool had left. Like, Stool wants to be part of the Circle of Explorers, right? And Stool wandered away from the Grove to show that he could do that, which is what led to him being in prison, et cetera, et cetera. And I think Rasharu, sensing how it's a tense moment, right? You see Rasharu come over and say, he sort of reinforces what you said. He says, Stool, as the newest member of the Circle of Explorers, we need your expertise. You've probably traveled farther than most of us. You see Stool sort of stiffen up and stretch out a little bit. And it seems to calm Stool a little bit. Eventually the parting comes, and the two of you set off, and Stool is sort of looking backwards at, I think the very last thing you hear through the telepathic bond from Stool is you hear, "Don't worry, Shushnar, we'll see them again." And then the bond breaks. So that is the end of day 4. I would like you to make now just straight perception checks, unless someone has a reason that they would have advantage on. And these are just standard night watch. I'm not going to put you in order of stuff. All right. Okay, so moving into day 5. So now it is the group of you. It's Eldeth, Prince Darendel, the 4 of you, and Rasharu. And still, now you're even able to make much more time, than you were before. You guys are accustomed to traveling these paths fresher, knows where you're going. And you are like the fact that he can find fresh meat, and he doesn't kill them. He finds dead animals that are still fresh. And so the three of you eat the good parts of them, and then the one of you eats the bad part.
I feel that I would probably be eating the bad part.
That's what my reference was to. So,
I
so
feel that
yeah,
was
like,
me.
so, but so you're a little buoyed by this, you're getting iron in you, and you're able to move a little bit faster. So day 5 comes and goes, and yeah, I think if you guys could make me a perception check once more.
Right.
Dolphix, in the middle of the night, you hear someone around. Like there is someone coming up from where you came. Like they're behind you in some sense.
Like how far behind?
Maybe 300, 400 feet as best you can tell.
Okay.
And they're not approaching any further.
Okay.
Like they've stopped. Like you heard it. You just heard like your best guess is that they were aware of that they just made this.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to Jasa, wake her up, say, "Psh, Jasa, I believe there's someone tailing us, just 200-300 feet behind. I just heard something."
I think I should try to sneak over and take a look.
Perhaps that would be best. I
See if we
thought
can
maybe
determine who it is.
I could send to Cheap, but being a bright, colorful bird may set off some alarms. So you may be best suited for this.
Well, I can take a peek.
And feel free to use resources if you like. I mean, like you basically have unlimited resources because we're not doing like huge encounters, so if there's something that would help do that search, let me know.
Have you waken anyone else up or just Jason?
Yeah, Jasa, are you gonna start heading over there?
Yeah,
I'll start
I
waking other
will-
people up.
I will stealth over there.
You make me a stealth check.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so how you're going until you sort of recognize someone's there?
I'm gonna go until I can see the person and see who's there and see if I can't figure out who it is.
Okay. So you get maybe 200. Oh, you don't have dark vision, do you?
No, I'd be relying primarily on sound.
Okay. So then let's say you get like maybe 80 feet out from where and you can hear some breaths. You can hear sort of shifting in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely more than one person.
Okay.
They're not talking. And similar to what Jasa experienced, you get the feeling that not that they know you're there, but that they are worried that they might have been detected.
Okay.
Like they're like doing this against the wall, that sort of.
Does it sound like, listening to the sound of like equipment creaking, anything like that? Does it sound like Drow? Having been around them previously.
You can have an advantage on this, but make me a perception check.
And I'm wearing Drow leather as well, so I am familiar with like
Right.
how it sounds when it brushes against itself.
So yes. So maybe not Drow equipment. You're not like that. That's a reach, but equipment that is very, very light and meant to be stealthy. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, so you don't know the materials or anything, but it's definitely.
But I could tell it's people that are outfitted for quiet,
Right.
swift movement.
Like, you're not hearing metal on metal.
Okay.
If anything, you're hearing creaks of leather or that sort of.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
Yeah. All right. Then I'm going to make my way back over to the group and relay that. It's a group of them. Did I have any concept of how many or just several?
I would say your best guess is around 5, but you're not super confident about.
Okay. So I'll relay that. It sounds like there are roughly 5 of them. I can't see very well, but it sounded like it. They're all outfitted lightly, as though for swift and silent movement.
I'm gonna assume that you're using Rasharu's telepathic bond for this.
I think that makes sense. If we
Okay.
don't, I can always telepathically communicate to
Yeah,
one
so-
person.
But in other words, I'm assuming that you aren't vocalizing this. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I can tell. It sounds like drow to me.
You have direction. I can make them lit up with light. The fairies.
They're a long way away, about 300 feet. We need to get a lot closer for that. They seem as though they are worried they were observed. They might be looking for a better opportunity to ambush us. I suppose we could flip the story on them there and maybe do the same.
Rasharu, you know these places well. Is there somewhere up ahead that would be a good opportunity for us to perhaps lose them or set up an ambush?
He says, "Let me think about it." He doesn't have an answer at this second, but like he sort of, you can see he's computing in his head, like trying to figure out like what might work well.
I am of the same
He's
opinion.
certain there is. He just doesn't know. Like
Sure.
yeah.
Yes, I am of the same opinion of Jason. I believe perhaps we should flip the script, as it were, and it is better for us to know who is tracking us than let them remain as unknown.
They are 300 some feet away. They don't see us. They hear make lots of noise. You stuff your sleep sack. They come for me. Catch them.
One question is if they would approach. Seems like they're keeping their distance, which is stopping them from engaging with us.
I assume that they're waiting for a more opportune moment when they can get the jump on us. Were I to be tailing someone, that's how I would do it.
Do we think that they can see us? We don't think that they can see us right now. What if we orchestrate, we set up some kind of scene that gives them that opportune moment?
We could pretend like when we had the thing where we was walking but asleep.
Sleepwalking.
At one time I walked but was sleeping. Was not aware of what happened. This place strange. Make us act weird.
I don't know. Could that be what gets them to attack?
We could try to draw them in that way. I'd prefer to set our own ambush, not give them the opportunity to attack.
Which is my thought as well.
I healer, not fighter. I follow your plan.
Okay, so I think maybe we see if Rasharu has a location in mind.
Okay.
Set up an ambush that way.
He asked you, is it like in the upcoming upcoming days, do you mean, or like right now?
Perhaps
It doesn't sound like they're coming closer now.
No.
So you'd like to like look for an in the future opportunity to basically turn the script.
Yeah, it seems like they aren't ready to engage us, and if we were to move right now, they're already concerned that they were spotted. That would let them know they were.
Okay, so you probably go to sleep as best you can, maybe double up on sort of watch shifts for the rest of the night. But similar to what you thought, they are not approaching, or as far as you can tell, not approaching. And so the day comes and goes. So Rasharu says the next day, he says there is basically you have your choice. One is to go someplace today that's slightly off course, so it would add time, or he thinks like the middle of 3 days from now, he knows of a place that would be it would allow groups of you to come up and be sort of looking down, and then group of you could go through the trench and make noise so that the group would follow through the trench, and then you could be on all sides of them. Similar setups, whether you go today and just add time to your travel, or you keep going.
I think sooner we confront this, better.
Agreed.
And I think that's true.
So you're gonna basically what it means is you're gonna go one more night before you get to this, and then okay. So you day comes and goes. You guys are really, really, really cautious throughout the day, making sure that the group of you are just aware of what's behind you, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So that night comes. Can you please all make me perception checks?
I'd sure like to roll above a 10 on one of these.
So, all right, Dolphix. You hear, it's a different sound. You hear a skittering, like it's maybe insectoid at a certain point, but you also hear like rocks falling. Like there is movement. It's just not what you heard before, and it's not shy. Like it's not stopping.
It's approaching quickly.
Maybe not. You're not entirely sure. It's not important. It's definitely not quick. And so it's not really sure. You're not really sure what it is that you're like. I'd say like you think it's maybe. Let's say for the purpose of this narrative, you guys have found yourself sort of tucked into a cave, right? So like you have some back protection, and so looking ahead of you is a sort of cavern, and so you maybe around the edges of the cavern, which let's say it's 100-foot circle for ease, and so like opposite you, it sort of seems to be like circumnavigating the. And then what was your score was what? Yeah. It's also not on the floor.
On the walls. Or
Yeah.
above, around. And I don't
Yeah,
see
it's
anything.
it's not at the level you guys are at.
I don't
It's
see
up
anything.
No, you don't see anything. Oh wait, what's your dark vision?
I got dark vision at 60 feet.
6 feet. Yeah, so you wouldn't see anything. It's just because you can't even see the wall over there.
Okay.
If it's 100-foot diameter.
All right. Well, I'll clutch my short sword in my hand and just
Mhm.
look around, looking up
Mhm.
as well as around, and getting ready. The moment I see something, I will
Okay.
call out to the group to wake them up.
Similar to the sounds eventually stop, and nothing else seems to happen. And we'll say the next morning you do see evidence of webbing on that wall, and your best conclusion was that probably a spider of some kind crawled through here. Yeah.
Okay. I'll draw the group's attention to those webs.
Okay.
Is it webbing like what we saw when we were prisoners?
I mean,
I mean, I don't know.
you can make a
if there's
nature
any
check,
way
but it's
for
going to be really, really hard. Like that's pretty specific detail, right? Like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
webs, spider webs. Like,
But arachnoid in nature, yes.
right. Like it's
Yeah, like
Of
giant
a
size.
size
I mean-
and scale.
When there are spiders, there are most likely drow.
But is
Oh.
it?
yeah, no, it is not like the huge amounts of netting.
But
Okay.
is it sized like it would have come from a large spider as opposed to like
Um,
the
it's a-
one that
it's-
Dolphix had with him for a while?
oh yeah, I mean, it's bigger than the one Dolphix, the white booted or the white gloved spider. It's bigger than that. And it just covers more area, but it's not like for what you know of and for what we know in this world, it wasn't like netting or anything. It just looks like it was walking across the walls,
Hmm.
like, and it was using the web to help it. Like that's, but some of the strands are really, really long, and you need sort of some light to actually like reflect off them so you can see sort of the full distance, because otherwise they just sort of blend. And this, I would say, like, Dolphix, I think you're pretty sure that all of this happened tonight, but none of you really would have seen it, like, had it been there already. Does that make sense? Like, you're pretty sure there was something, like,
Well, something was in that direction.
right. And so you're not really sure if the web was there the night before, etc. Just because of it's not a lot. Like it's pretty specific detail.
Okay. I'll summon to Cheap
Mhm.
and just have, I don't know what gender Cheap is, but I'll have the bird fly, like kind of do a loop,
Mhm.
staying within 100 feet of me, just like if they spy anything,
Okay. Yeah.
even spiders,
Okay.
let me know so that we can communicate telepathically.
Are you going to do this throughout the day or just now?
Throughout the day,
Okay.
as we're
Alright.
yeah.
Okay, so you guys get to the place that he warns you you're about to come up on it. I'll draw if my expression was not very clear. Let's see. Just have a random battle map. I really do, but all right. So you guys can all see this will be a beautiful drawing, I'm sure. So here's the general idea. Down here is the path. Down here is the path you're sort of walking through, right? At a point up here, it narrows to only about 10 feet wide. However, there are some side passages up here and over here where you can actually get above this passage looking down. Does that make sense?
Does our guide know if there's also passages to get up there from the opposite end?
Let's say on one of them there is.
Okay, so that we wouldn't have to worry about covering our tracks that we slipped off the trail.
Yeah, we'll say one of them is, right? And then this one just sort of ends at the, and then this continues and it widens out again after. And so this is what he was thinking of. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
This stuff. Let's say we'll say that this is if this is 20 feet up. We'll say. um, from the intermediate, the middle tunnel up into those ledges. What is your plan?
I think we we go past. Some of us come up on one side.
So you don't have any sense that they're right behind.
We,
I think-
we would need some way to show the tracks continuing so they aren't alerted,
Mhm.
but we would reside here up in the ledge.
Right.
I think when I'm up there, I think I'm gonna go maybe try to go up this right path so that I can cast and I could do it maybe repeatedly, a minor illusion up ahead of us conversing so that they think that we have gone through and gone, that they're continuing to follow us through this chasm.
Okay. So what are here? I'll put you guys in a bunch of people. Remember too, you have like Darendil and Eldeth. Like I'll just throw this out. They suggest ignore the minor illusion. Why don't we stand over there? Like if we're confident they're coming just from behind us,
I
so
mean,
why
this,
don't we go over there?
Sounds
True.
good.
I mean, this is something I picked up playing hide and seek with little ones, but you could also walk backwards,
Okay.
to give the illusion that we were still moving forward with this loop. But if Eldeth and Darendel are volunteering, they could certainly make some footsteps to
Well,
continue
if we're
on the path.
concerned about footsteps, that gives an idea that perhaps Dolphix, you and I being small, we could ride on someone, Darendel perhaps, up a bit and then backtrack this way and get off the trail so that our tracks do appear to move forward
Sure.
using your idea of walking backwards.
Very well.
So I'm just putting them on there. Now I'm going to move you guys over here. Just have you. So, second. Sorry, I just found a map I made it for you a very long time ago. Or I don't know if it was a long time ago, but it was a while ago, and it has my drawing of Demogorgon on it. But where did the one I was just on? Where are you? Up there. There's the graphic. Okay. So you're gonna try to do tracks. Where do you want Eldeth and Darendel to be like past a bit so they're visible? Like they say we could pretend like we're camping for the night or something, like we can
Well, they stayed a certain distance away from us the last time we saw them. We don't want them to be camping out here like 300 feet away from us.
No, it'll have to be far enough in that they'll want to travel through here.
yeah, what's your plan? And what are you guys up to at the moment, if there's anything extra you're doing?
I think getting ourselves up into this spot, but having our group maybe move forward with lit torches. Have maybe Darendel carrying a torch in each hand. Make it seem like more people going forward.
Yeah, that sounds
Like a
good.
good idea.
I think outside of the range of their dark vision, they will just see the torch moving at 300 feet.
I like this idea.
Mm-hmm.
Drazel, you were planning once they go through there. One of your first things you're planning to do is hit them with fairy fire.
I could hit him with fairy fire to start off with, or I could try to trap them into the spot by putting in the flaming sphere at the back end of it, so they only have one direction to travel.
I think the fairy fire would be very helpful because if they're gonna throw up darkness or whatever, I don't know. Well, that might not counter that, but I think it would be good.
Okay.
All right.
It's good if they can go invisible, but I just don't remember what that skill they have.
Yeah,
Okay.
it will be tricky.
So if you guys want to put yourselves and where you would be, and so where are Darendil, Eldeth, and Resher? Up there. So like way up there. All three of them, or do you want one, or do you
I
want?
think Eldrith could maybe hide off around this corner, like over here, help us close out the trap.
And then Reshiru, where? Reshiru can like here, just so you know his abilities. He mostly he has those pacifying spores, which I think were used against you. And then he has fist. So where would you like him?
Well, didn't really ask him to join on as a combatant. I'd say if he wants to stay up with the other two and perhaps help if they're attacked.
So he's gonna hide up here. All right. So I'm about to sneeze. Can the group of you make me a two things? A stealth with advantage, and then a perception with advantage. Okay. So, Jason, you are definitely hitting the first round.
I'd like
Drazel.
to.
Yep.
I'd like to use one of our re-rolls on mine.
Sure. 1 second. I just need to. Okay. I just need to do some stuff. Give me 1 second. Since I did not expect you guys to do this, but that's fine. I'm sorry, that's the one I was looking for. Okay. One second, I'm almost done, I promise. It's all right. I'm just trying to click and drag things and it's not working. Come on. Really? What's going on? Okay. There's one. Okay. Now I'm ready. So, you all, sorry, the numbers, so perception. Am I missing a perception? I am. I have Drazzle, I have Jasa, and I have Dolphix.
Vic needs one.
I'd happily roll it again, but it should be there.
Uh,
I think you did stealth.
Oh, you need what was it? What else? did you need?
Perception. Yeah.
Oh, perception.
Like I need you both, basically both ways going on right now. Okay. So I this one here, hold on. Jasa, you are
Mhm.
going to have a surprise round. And that's it, I think. The rest of
Okay.
you, but you guys are not surprised. Like you, all of you are definitely not surprised. Jasa, you hear it fast enough that you have a second to react
okay.
before everyone else. So that's how I'm going to play those. Let me, you guys can roll initiative. I will roll initiative. I'll roll initiative for these ones up here. Just in case.
Vic and Dolphix, as bad as yours are, at least you'll get to attack with the advantage I might be able to put on them.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, Jasa. So basically, you're gonna have two rounds in a row. So what you see is you see them. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring them to the front. You see them moving very, very cautiously through this area. Where is it? There. Okay. So they are not quite up to the intersection. I should say that these aren't entirely obvious.
Okay.
Like, it's not like there's a good chance they will not just walk into that, right? So they are not quite into this area yet. You see three of them. You recognize, I'd say, two of the guards from the prison.
Okay.
And then there seems to be a bigger dude with him. And they're sort of moving cautiously, like they think that maybe something's going on. But so, what would you like
Okay.
to do with your first round?
Well, I am hidden, so I'm going to go ahead and try to snipe the first one.
Mhm.
18 with advantage.
Correct. That hits. I'm pretty sure you'll kill him outright. You're doing one of the ones in front, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
21
Yeah.
points of damage.
So in your first hit, it just goes straight through this guy's head, and he drops. And the other three sort of look surprised, not quite quick enough to react before you get to react again.
And as part of that first round, after I shoot, I want to use my bonus action to try to hide again
Go for it.
to make sure that they don't know where it's coming from.
Okay, no problem.
And then I will shoot at the next one.
Which I'm going to assume that just means you sort of repositioned yourself somewhere up there. And
Yeah,
but
like I'll duck behind. I can duck
Yep.
behind Drazzle to get it.
no problem.
Uh,
That hits.
only does
Uh,
12 damage though.
Oh, right, because it is a new turn. Yep. Okay. And that kills him as well. Okay.
And then I will attempt to reposition and hide again.
Rasharu is doing what you guys told him. Drazzle.
So they are 2 guys down. I'm going to switch off my plan for the. You guys going with the fairy? I'll just put the fairy fire on them. Not if that worked or not. Yeah.
On these two here.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.
And the area kind of just a little bit behind them in case there's someone else maybe hidden there.
So you got the guard. He's going to have green. The elite warrior. Anything else, Charles?
No, that's pretty much all I've got to work with.
This drow guard moves up, and we can give you a little bit of cover, Drazzle, but he saw you. And so he's going to throw a spear up at you. Totally misses. And then he sort of moves back. And he's basically, yeah, he moves back. Dolphix and Vic, you can still see him, but I'm going to say Drazzle and Jason, he's moved back sort of out of your eyesight. And it looks like they might be running away. Like that was that's your impression.
Okay.
It's this elite warrior's turn. He also sees you, Drazzle. Yeah, because your stealth was Jason was good. And so he is going to take 2.
First one hits.
Okay. So you're going to take 10 piercing. 10 piercing automatically. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Probably not enough.
Would you like to re-roll that?
Let's see. I think that's probably going to be. I don't know where our tracking of what we have are.
We got 5 right now. Take one.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah. So poisoned is like let's see, it is a disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
It was a reroll versus casting lesser restoration on myself.
You are good. And then he also sort of moves out of the vision of you two, Jason and Drazzle. Like they're basically hugging that wall since they saw it coming from that direction.
Okay.
But Dolphix, you still can see them. They definitely are moving back down the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, I'll chase after one.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Okay.
To attack. Let's see. With the booming blade, I should
Okay.
say. So 26.
I'm pretty sure that's going to kill him. Based on everything. Yep. So you sort of like stab the short sword through his back as he's running away. He sort of slumps on the sword. You pull it out.
Okay. 25. I guess that's all I can do. Well, I'll try. Can I throw a dagger as my second
Sure. Yeah.
attack action?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm aiming for it. Definitely hits. Okay, so 7 points of damage. Make sure there's nothing weird. Yep.
Okay, that's my turn.
Yeah. Okay. Vic.
Seeing them, they're running away. He's gonna move, and I'll call out to him with a vicious mockery and say, "Hey, we were looking for a fight. We were looking for a couple of fighters. Have you seen them? Have you seen any?" And I think it's a DC 14. Oh, I clicked the button.
Wisdom? What is it? Charisma?
I think it's wisdom. How do I? Oh, there it is. 15.
Sure.
15 wisdom.
Okay, so he takes 6 points of damage, psychic damage. Any other effects?
Disadvantage on his next attack roll.
Got it.
Before the end of its next turn.
Jason, so you your choices are basically to if you really want to, you can jump down but you can also just walk down that path.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
keep-
down the path, get to the corner here,
Mhm.
see if I can take a shot from there.
Go for it.
Am I still hidden?
Yeah, I know. You never moved into his line of sight. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna crit him.
Okay.
So 23 points, 24 points of damage.
He is he's still up.
And then I will duck back around and hide again.
Okay.
Oh, not very good.
And no fat Drazzle to hide behind this time.
Mechanoid adult, Drezel.
I don't like what has happened, so I'm moving forward 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right over here.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and cast out at him with a Scorching Ray.
That misses.
I have 3 of these I have to do.
Okay. So
Apparently.
the first one misses. Just watch your spell slots because it might be doing weird things. That one misses.
And then
Misses.
man,
Yeah, just keep an eye on your spell slots because sometimes when you keep doing it, it's knocking off your spell slots.
yeah,
So,
I just did the one.
anything else, Drezel?
No,
He turns around, and I think you see him pull his short sword, and there's you can all see the glint of poison coming off of it, and he throws himself into between the two of you. And so the first attack he has disadvantage. He's going for you, Dolphix. So it's miss. Second one, miss. Okay. Of that, it is you, Dolphix. And Vic and Dolphix, you now, like, originally you said, like, 2 of the guards were recognizable by you. This guy also. He wasn't one of the 2 lovers of Ilvara, but this guy was one of the captains in Velkavir, where you were imprisoned. So the fact that they're here should cause alarm. Dolphix, since you are up.
Okay. Guy's still alive.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna booming blade him.
Yep.
Is it possible to booming blade and deal like non-lethal damage?
No, because I mean, by the rules, right? It's because
Yeah, that's
what's
fine.
It's magic, right? Like I'm trying to think of how booming blades worded. What's doing the damage? The magic?
Well, on a hit, it deals additional damage. That's the magical damage. So,
Okay.
I mean, maybe the
I'll-
magical damage I can't do non-lethally.
Yeah, and so I'll apply that first, and then we can do that.
Okay,
How's that?
let's do that.
Okay.
Assuming I hit.
You do
23.
it? Yep.
All right, so let's do the magical damage first, which is 1d8. That's
Yeah,
4.
he's still up from that.
Okay, and then I deal 11 non-lethal piercing.
He's still up.
Okay, that's my first attack.
Mhm.
Second attack.
Hits.
All right, 1d8. Or no, I can't do that again. So it's just this one.
So 9. Okay. He's
9.
still up.
And if he moves, it'll trigger my booming blade.
Okay. Vic, I'm feeling he won't last through his next turn. Vic, it is your turn.
I'm gonna try to hit him with the rapier, and then I'll pull out my dagger and try to get him with that bonus action offhand.
Okay. That hits.
Click.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just.
Did that work?
I think so. Give me 1 second. I'm just doing.
You'll have to take your dex modifier back off of it though, because it was your offhand.
Yeah. So minus -2 off of whatever that is.
Okay. So you do 6 total. Am I reading that right? So is that correct?
I'm not sure. This is one
think,
of those
yes,
roll
it should
20
be.
things where I don't understand it exactly.
So you rolled a 4 on the first d4. So that would be 6 total with your dex mod, and then you had 2 extra for the crit.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
take 2 off.
Yeah. Okay. So -6. He's still up. Anything else, Vic?
Nope, that'll be it.
Jason.
I see that they're trying to subdue rather than kill, so I'm going to swap from the bow and from the shadows here, get him with my whip.
Okay.
I think I was not hidden that time.
Yeah, I feel like you weren't. I don't see a stealth roll.
I did roll stealth. I rolled really
Oh
poorly.
yeah, you did. Sorry. Yep. Okay. So yep, it's it hits his armor and sort of bounces off.
All right, then I'm going to step out an offhand dagger.
Okay. That hits. And so you do get sneak attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
15.
He is up, but very, very barely.
I will bonus action disengage and step back.
Okay. Dolphix, you hear the chittering again, and you see a giant spider. Yeah, so it moves. I don't have a map below, so but it moves within 30 of you.
Go ahead and attack the drow, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it is going to go for Vic, and I'm going to use a reroll. I still have rerolls, right?
Yep. You got 5 down to
Okay.
4.
Okay.
That'll
Yep.
hit.
So Vic, you're going to take 9 piercing, 10 poison, and you are restrained. Okay. Web on him, so I know he can't use web again. Dressel.
So he is restrained but not pulled towards any direction, as far as I can
Nope.
tell.
Yep. In fact, it shot out of the spider. He wasn't even next to him.
Okay, so it's not like he's connected to the spider.
Correct.
All right. I'm going to cast the flaming sphere. Actually, just change what I'll do. I'm going to cast bless on my teammates.
All the other 3.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know why I rolled dice. I meant maybe because I hit the other spell first. Sorry. But I want to cast blessed and put it on Yaisa and Vic and get everybody covered in case something else happens, and also give them advantage on when they make more attacks. Well, not advantage, but a D4.
Yep. Okay. Put that on there. Okay.
And then I'm just going to kind of reposition back here where I can see more what's happening.
It is the drow's turn. He's going to go for you again, Dolphix. So 2 with the short sword.
Too slow.
But you do also, unfortunately, sense in many ways the approach of another one of these.
Right.
And so the giant spider sort of chirps and yeah, he's gonna. What is there? I'm not gonna like your dark vision's 60, right?
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, he's gonna basically use his dash action to get up to you. Like I'm not gonna just make him. I'm not gonna plop him in and then immediately have him attacks. Okay, Dolphix, it is your turn,
Okay.
and you have bless.
Yep. I'll do one attack at the drow with my booming blade.
Okay.
So let's see.
18.
That hits. I think that kills him.
Booming blade damage is 1, and then 10.
All right. Good for that blooming blade damage. He is unconscious.
Great. And then
He had three hit points. So
my second attack will be to I will hit the spider next to me.
okay. Hits.
10 piercing.
Okay.
And that would be my turn.
Okay. Vic, you are restrained.
I'm gonna give nice work, Dolphix. I think you got that other one. Give Dolphix some bardic inspiration.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to get myself free.
Okay.
Is acrobatics an option on this web?
I'm gonna say no, just because it was specific, and it's a web, right? Like I'm picturing like you have lots of gooey stuff on
You are blessed.
you. Yeah, you also.
I am blessed.
That only does attack rolls and saving throws, right?
You're
Oh,
right.
it's saving throws, not ability checks.
Yeah. We can go for acrobatics. It's fine.
Oh, if that's an option, I'll try to do the escape.
Yep, you no longer are webbed.
I don't get the bless on that. Okay, I will. And this drow is not. He's unconscious, right? Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's unconscious.
I'm gonna move back then. 5, 10. I'm just gonna get back over here by Drazzle for try to catch my breath.
Jason.
All right. I will step out and attack this spider. So first with my main hand
Hits.
for 15 points of damage.
You cut off like all but one of its legs. Okay.
Is it still a threat?
It is still up.
All right, then I will attack it with my offhand with my bonus action
That's and you kill it.
for 1 point of damage.
Yep, that's all I had. So all right.
And I will move back again.
This giant spider does not cover web. He moves up, and Dolphix, this is all you.
Oh, 24. Hold on. Let's see. Is shield +4 or +5? It is +5. I'm going to use my reaction to cast shield.
Okay. So it does not work. Does that +5 change by chance, or is it always +5?
I think it's always +5.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious. Okay, you are safe. Basil.
All right. No one's hit this thing yet, right? No one's even attacked it. Just showed up on the scene.
One of the spiders showed up and was killed. This spider has not actually taken any damage.
Then I'm going to try to step forward and get it with burning hands. It's in range, I can hit it,
Mhm.
and I can hit it without getting any of my friends.
Throw that up there.
Try to get the right one. Well, maybe I think I may hit it twice. Sorry.
Save and throw. All right. So makes it so he's going to make 17 and a half is 8. So we take 8 points of fire damage. Anything else, Strauss?
No.
Okay. Drow's dead. Sorry. Move him from the order. Dolphix.
Gonna hit it.
It's
Booming blade.
you're trying to kill this one, is it? Right.
Unless it can talk, but no, I'd like to kill it.
Okay.
If
it's
I
on
hear
the-
screams of "Oh God, the pain," then I
I'm a
will definitely
druid!
stop.
Stop!
But other than that, no.
yeah.
Oh no, I'm killing him. I hate druids.
It doesn't. He's still up. So
Okay, second attack.
Yep, you kill him. There's no way he's gonna survive. Okay, so everything goes quiet. The 2 spiders are on their backs doing that weird spider twitch thing, and the drow is bloodied and sort of shallowy breathing on the ground. Why don't we take a break here? So it seems like a perfect time to take a break, and we will pick up in just 10 minutes. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back. Thanks, guys, for sticking with us. Okay. So you guys have captured a drow that seems to have been hunting you all the way back from the prison that you were in. You recognize him. You didn't know him well, but you definitely recognize him from there. He has the sort of sigilry, is that the word sigilry of the house Ilvara was in.
I think we should say had because I'm taking everything.
Okay. So yeah, he's quickly being disrobed by your party mate. Is there anything specific you guys want to do?
Awake now?
No, unless you heal him, no.
Okay.
It'll be 1 to 4 hours. Dolphix, will you make me a quick, just straight intelligence check? Okay.
Behold my intelligence.
I'm giving you advantage on that, just so you know. Because of what it is. You have a really, really strong gut feeling that if this was the same group you heard that first night, there are more of them. Like, this isn't enough that you heard. Or sorry, this was technically Jason, but who would have went up and listened. I apologize, but yeah.
But we can gather this.
Yeah. So
If they're willing to send one hunting party, there's nothing stopping them from sending another.
But Dolphix, what are you thinking with this one here? You want to get some information from him? Do you want to use him as a hostage? What do you think the angle is?
Well, I think any information is valuable at this moment. One, we know that the Drow are aware of our existence and that we're heading to Blingdenstone, but perhaps we can interrogate this one and discover how much he has conveyed to his leaders. This could be quite the obstacle for us if they plan on sending more, which I'm flattered and all, but don't they have bigger fish to fry, as it were?
Maybe we only prisoners ever escape.
Hmm.
And to stay escaped.
Well, in any case, I think it is best that we at least try to extract as much information as possible from this one.
Okay. So what are you doing specifically? Waking him up, I assume.
Should we tie him up, do you think, before we heal him?
Oh,
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
After I finish taking everything off of him, I will loot the other 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, general stuff. If there's something specific you want, but it's all Drowish equipment. Which
Yeah, mostly I'm thinking that their armor and swords and things will be useful for bartering.
I'll
I'm
wrap him
trying
up
to-
and sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just trying to forage through the spider to see if there's any tasty bits.
that is completely up to you.
Is there anything on any of the 4 of them that stands out?
No, I'm not gonna like. It is little enough like coinage that I'm not even gonna have you put it on. I'll just round up if you guys try to buy something in Queenstone or something.
Yeah, I was
like
just
I'm not-
gonna.
Yeah, but in general, no. Like it
Okay.
like oh, sorry. What's striking is what is not there. What is not there is camping equipment. Anything that would indicate that they walk this distance.
Okay,
Like it is very, very lightly equipped. Which makes sort of once again another data point that maybe there are more of them.
I'll be wrapping this guy up in my net,
Mhm.
and then I'll
And you-
tap him.
You have Darendil, right? Like Darendil literally can just put his foot on the guy's chest and he's not really going very far.
Okay, that works. I can give him a healing word.
Okay. So you pump a healing word and he sort of lets out a gasp and opens his eyes, sort of filled with terror as he realizes what is going on and who is around him and who it no longer is around him.
We're going to be asking you a bunch of questions, and you better not get real smart. You're only here alive because Dolphix is kind of a merciful soul.
Hardly merciful is not the word I would use. More, I recognize the source of information and value you could bring to us.
Yeah, so if you start sassing, you're going to be not very valuable, are you? How many of
So
there are
sort,
you?
Sort of gritting his teeth. Question: how many?
Yeah.
Make a quick intimidation check. You can have advantage because everyone else standing around. He spits out. He sort of laughs a little bit, and blood's coming out of his mouth, and he's like, enough to make you remember that you're property.
Not you property. You're soon to be dead.
He doesn't seem death doesn't scare him, so that's not. You don't really see a reaction to that. Like, in fact, he would like to be dead.
How long before they recognize that you've been gone for too long?
He laughs again, and he's like, "They already know. You better run. She's here."
Who's that? Elvira?
He
Whatever
just
her name is.
He just starts laughing. Like and like it's really it's disgusting because blood spittles like
Mhm.
like he's on his back, right, and blood spittles like coming on his face. So
Can we file this under SAS, guys?
yeah.
Jason,
Yeah.
this seems like SAS.
I think so. I'm gonna throw a dagger at him, like not lethally, but I want to like hit him. You know,
Okay.
probably a limb or something.
So you are trying to like inflict pain, in other words,
Yeah.
on him, but not kill him. Okay. He um once again doesn't. I mean, he definitely feels it, right?
Mhm.
But based on some of the drow like principles of pain, like it doesn't. He's not that worried about it.
I am not comfortable with torturing him.
Wow.
And just kill me then.
I have no problem with that.
Well, I don't think you have all, or you don't think you can be any more years.
We don't need a prisoner. We might need food.
How have you been surviving down here? You don't have any camping gear.
He says, why don't you ask my friends when they why don't you ask my friends when they show up?
I'm not that curious. It was a question of convenience.
If I were you, I'd run.
I might take you up on that.
Unless I'm starting to think you'd like to be property again.
If you were us, you'd be likely to live a lot longer.
I can do it. I did the mercy kill the last time. I could do it again. I get my dagger out and I'm holding it up to his chest, just looking at everyone to kind of get the nod. Anyone else want to ask him any questions?
We have his weapon have poison on it. Kill him with poison.
Why are you going after us? I understand that we are escaped, but surely 4 escaped slaves does not warrant multiple hunting bans.
Or escaped slaves.
There's at least 6 here.
16, I think, is what it was.
Well, I mean, all the other ones are dead. I mean,
so you're the property that remains.
so you're gonna devote? There was no doubt 5 of you all just to go after the 4 of us.
6 of us.
You know, you
4 of us.
you know nothing of our honor, topside.
Well, it seems like
would call people above.
it seems like you don't have great math skills with how many of you expendables that they're willing to throw at this little escaped slave problem.
Loth provides.
Not much.
Are you too much of a coward to kill me? You said you would.
I am a little bit squeamish, but I'm willing to do it.
Well, to be clear, we said we would when you were no longer useful. You're still providing useful information.
He takes the point.
And I'll, at that point, if he gets quiet, I'll push the dagger in.
Yeah, as you bring it down, he lets out a sort of prayer to Loth, and then he is dead.
I'd say let's take all of these bodies off of the trail and see if we can't clean this up a little bit.
I think we put body of drow in spider. Maybe think they fought themselves.
I think that's a hard sell when they both serve the same god.
Maybe they learned distrust spiders.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry, this might have been a little bit more. Give me 1 second about something.
I'm sorry, there's 2 more spiders coming.
No. It's something about the spider. I don't remember something. Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna say that. Yeah. Okay. Nothing. No new information about the spider. I'm just gonna make the call rather than try to figure it out.
I don't think we can convince a priestess of Lolth that the spider and the drow killed each other, but I think we could move them all off of the trail so that it's less likely to show to be perceptible that they were killed here.
I just as background too, in your time, certainly with Sarth, but in general, and I know you're probably asking just to ask, but you would recognize at this point that the loss of face that Elvira is going to suffer if this becomes widely known that she lost this many slaves is going to make sure her house is brought into huge disrepute. So there's a little bit of a motivation there that like you can understand. Also, she runs a prison. Like she probably is bored out of her mind, and this is fun. So just
So there's part of me that desperately wants to leave her alive at the end of this.
Well,
for the sociological trauma.
I mean,
Yes.
that may not be up to us, considering the track record of how many demon lords are arriving.
Well, it'd be nice to know that she was alive enough to be aware that we were gone.
We'll send her a nice letter when we hit topside.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'll feature her in one of my upcoming songs about how terrible she is at.
Maybe we can send a letter to the leaders of each of the cities telling them she thought we were her property.
You could write a love song to Elvira called "The One That Got Away." The
Oh,
ones that
I
got
like
away.
that. I
The
like
ones
the
that
look
got
on
away.
Or just
Yeah.
call it Elvira. You could
It'll
throw
be
some
one of
giddy
those
up
songs that's got a little bit of a
Mouse in there.
kind of double meaning, you know.
Mhm.
Only my true fans will know the real story.
Indeed.
So what are you guys? You guys are trying to clean up the.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
Sitch.
try to move these off of the path, maybe even just up the ramps, but then try to clean it all up and try to hide our tracks from passing through here.
Oh, roll me. And I assume other people are helping with this.
Yeah.
Okay. What sort of check do you think that is?
It's probably survival.
That's what I was thinking too. So,
I'm
let's
terrible
do
at
it.
survival, but
I'm
You can have an advantage on it because people are helping. So,
if somebody else is decent at that and saw that I was doing it and thought, I'll do this, them.
okay. So Drezel, you take like maybe the next 10 to 15 minutes to like do a decent job of like there's no like it's clear something happened here. Whether or not it was a like you have gotten it to the point where it looks like maybe just people camped here, like with things flattened and smoothed out. It doesn't necessarily look like a murder happened here. Murder, you know,
Oh, murder.
attack, ambush, whatever you want to call it.
No, there was some murder at the end.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
Well, after that, I think we carry on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys continue. I think it was day 7. 1 second. Do I put this on here? Yep, day 7. Okay. So yeah, you guys continue on. So I said this would add 1 more day. So you would have 7. You have 8 more days. Okay. You guys make haste. You try to get out of there as soon as possible after you finish.
Yeah.
And you keep going. Perception checks for the evening. Okay. Oops. Okay. So, oops. Push the wrong button. It's quiet. Like it's really really quiet. No chittering, no anything moving up on you. You are pretty confident that maybe they held off. You're not really sure, but nothing happens overnight. So make sure you guys take a long rest in your sheets, and yeah, I'm gonna hand wave a little bit of this. The next few days are similar. So I'm going to push you all the way up to, let's say, day 12. So if you want to make perception checks for the night of day 12. So Dolphix, in the middle of the night, I think as you're sitting there, like you're sort of, so first of all, no, you're not sure why, all of you, but the last few nights, it's just been nothing. So you're not sure if you scared them away. Was he lying about there being others? Like, you're just not sure why they would have given up, if that makes some sense. And so Dolphix, this is another night like that, where you're sitting there pondering and you're staring at sort of the walls, just sort of bored while you're doing watch. And suddenly you notice, like on the wall, something sort of glisten, like almost like you're looking at the sheen and suddenly it moved. And it's not very far, it's maybe like 20 feet away from you. And you can still see the sheen on the wall and nothing really, like maybe water does that, you're not sure.
I'm going to approach it with caution.
Yeah, it's not, you do, and it's the wall's slimy. Like it's like a mold or a slime or something.
I will take my dagger and kind of scrape a bit of it off.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Does it look magical in nature, or is this like a biological thing?
Biological. Sorry, yeah. So like what you were seeing was like a little bit of light hitting it and sort of it having that slimy sheen.
Okay.
And it bouncing to you. The only weird thing was you thought you saw it move in some sense, but the way it's on the wall. Like it's not like there's a patch of it. Mm-hmm. And so let me sorry, I'm just looking for it. This is your dagger, like you go to scrape it, your dagger gets like incredibly cold. Like ice cold, like you're surprised. Like where you're feeling it, like you feel the warmth flowing out of your dagger.
All right. I'm gonna step back.
Yeah, it doesn't, it's just there, like it's just a feature.
Okay.
Similar to when Drazel licked it. So you make a mental note, like not to tell Drazel about the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, no. The rest of the night, quiet. And Rasharu, I'd say, what day did I say this was 12? Yeah, so day 12. So Rasharu on day 13 says, I think the big event in day 13 is that Rasharu says, look, I think this is where I can safely leave you. And he sort of starts drawing out a map of how you get the next day and a half to Blingdenstone. And he says the reason he wants to leave you now is because he'd like to double back and see if anyone's following you, and to figure that out. But selfishly, to go find Basidia and help them find a new place to live. So it's been almost 2 weeks now since, or I'm sorry, it's been 10 days since you guys left. So, you know, you can tell he's anxious to do that. He wishes you luck. He thanks you for everything. And he says he will find a way to let you know if they're there. But if you don't hear from him, then he thinks as far as he knows, you're safe. Yeah, and he says, I think he leaves you with the fact that the gnomes there, deep gnomes, they don't trust many people these days. So, but they're good. They're good people. Just be patient with them. With that, he sort of says goodbye, unless there's any reason you're going to stop him. And yeah, so now it's down to the 6 of you. So, so that's day. Make me perception checks for the evening. You guys keep walking a little bit more.
Come on.
Vic, I think you it's one of these things that you're not really sure if you're hearing it or you're imagining it again. But you do feel like you heard the echo of music. Like you're getting close to civilization again. You haven't since the night in the inn in Greckelstone. I don't think you've did you? No, I think it was just that's the last time.
I heard a song last session. I don't want to hear
Oh,
that
did
song
you?
again.
Okay, sorry.
The wedding song.
Oh, sorry. No. Unverified songs. Like,
Okay,
you,
that's good.
yeah, unverified songs. So no, this is just like a snippet of music. Like it seems to be echoing around. Like it's just a strange thing.
I think we're getting close. Hear familiar sounds.
All right. So next day, you guys follow the directions, and Reshiru basically told you to follow sort of this source of water, and then told you when to turn away from it. And so it's pretty easy to follow, honestly. And so I think as you get closer to Blingdenstone in those last day and a half or so, you start to see structures that are destroyed. Like you start to see civilization just ruin civilization.
Oh, are we expecting it to be destroyed?
You had heard from Rasharu that this was once a great city that was very, very hidden. They became open, public for reasons Rasharu didn't necessarily know. And the Drow destroyed it.
Oh, I thought it was abandoned, not destroyed. That's what I was. Maybe
No, they destroyed. It was a war against the city, which is it's not necessarily important to the story, but it's in the Forgotten Realms lore why that happened. And so that was centuries ago, and now maybe a century ago, and now only about 10 years have they been back trying to reestablish it as a city, is what you heard from Asher. And so they have a big sense of distrust, A, certainly against Drow, right, who are trying to come in their city, but B, against anything like that, because they're sort of struggling to survive. And so that's a little where Rasharu was telling you, please be patient with them, because like they're facing problems of their own. So, and so you see some of this, and I would say, Dolphix, you definitely see. It's weird because you see, like, as you guys approach the Neverlit Grove, like the fertile patches of mushrooms you saw everywhere were like foreshadowed the fact that you were about to hit this center of civilization of this colony. What the analogy here is that you're seeing more and more of these patches of slime. Like and less fungus. So like you haven't really seen it's just like a different, like, I don't know, a different environment. But to you it's noticeable. To lots of people it's noticeable. You probably just picked up on it first just because of after that night when you sat there and looked. And there's all different sorts that, like, you guys can, some feel warm to the touch, some feel cold to the touch. It's just
Okay, Drazzle, we're not eating any of this.
I learned lesson last time.
Good.
So I actually have not played around with this map, I realize. So let me, first of all, let me move you to a map and ask, can you see anything? We'll start there.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Let's start there. Let's see. I'm going to move all of you. Give me 1 second. You're not quite where I'm going to put you on the map yet, but this is definitely around where we'll end. Where were you? Here we go. You. Wait, I'm missing someone. Oh, different. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, come on. I took half of the map with it. Because I drew on the token layer. Almost there. Can you see anything now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it should be over here. Oh yeah. So like I said, you're not what you can see. No, so
I
you
will
can't really see
torch.
much. Did I give you torch-like properties or no?
You did not.
Okay.
The only light I see right now comes off Drazzle.
Okay. So what's torch 2020, right?
Yep.
I do like the new Roll20. I like the controls for this a little better, just because I think make more sense. You can see now, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this a large scale map then?
Yes, like your tokens are abnormally.
Okay. That makes
They're
sense.
they're bigger than they should be at the moment. And I'll fix that over time. Let's see. You guys come to like, so as you're traveling to this, and after a certain point it becomes clear that there are smaller roads which lead to bigger roads which lead to even bigger roads, and so basically you're following the flow of that, figuring that the biggest road is where the entrance to this place is going to be. And you pass some fields, actually, this is probably kind of interesting because it's the first time you've seen this too. You see some mushroom cultivated fields, like the equivalent of like a wheat field, but mushrooms growing there. And you see, and it's clear to you that it's tended. You see maybe some example of old mine shafts and things like that. And you get the feeling that this really was like a big city at some point, and they sort of had to start over. Eventually the road you're on sort of leads to a set of still fairly well built stone walls that are pretty intimidating. They I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 feet tall. And the road itself leads into a set of stairs going up to it. Interestingly enough, those of you who are small creatures, are very excited. This is a city built for small creatures. And so the stairs like are this wide. So large creatures, it's actually difficult terrain as you're like trying to walk up these stairs because you can only really tippy toe up them. And so Eldeth is like super happy, and I assume Chasa as well.
This is the correct size.
Yeah.
Everything is to the correct size.
None of that abnormally large stuff.
Indeed.
And eventually this leads, I'm going to move the characters for you. Eventually this leads to a very large iron gate. Darrendel's really suffering because he's like, he has to walk like Slim. About this. So the gate is it's beautiful. Like this is, you're not sure, it doesn't match. Like it is near, like it would be a real challenge to figure out, was this gate always here? Was it rebuilt? Like it doesn't quite fit because it is iron, it is mithril. Those of you who have some arcane ability notice even some sort of sheen of magic across it. And it just looks maybe not newer, just cleaner than everything else around. Your torches are glowing off of it, like things like that. And you come up to it, and the actual stairs basically, let me show you this part. Ooh, where is this? Like this whole area here, like between the end of the stairs and the gate, this the gate here if you can't see it, is even sloped itself. And you get the feeling that those of you who are more trained in battle realize that this is very much a strategic, right? Like, so if you were trying to run up and ram this thing, you'd have to deal with a staircase, but then even the level floor in front of the gate is also slanted. So it's a little bit of a weird, but it's clear that it has some sort of strategic element. And as you approach the gate, you hear a voice from up above near the top of the gate. You're like, "Oi, what are you doing there? Who are you?"
They're calling in common.
You probably heard it a couple times in other, like it probably started in Undercommon, and then eventually got to like, "What are you guys, deaf? Like, oh, what are you doing here?" in Common.
There we go.
The list of languages, yeah.
Well, we are travelers. We've traveled very far to get here to Blingdenstone. We're just looking for shelter and food.
Are you bringing any trouble in with you?
No trouble, just coins, just money, and no trouble.
What is all your passive perceptions?
19.
Is that the highest?
I think so.
Okay.
Mine's
So-
16.
Jason, what languages do you speak?
Common, halfling, and thieves can't.
So you hear undercommon be spoke, but undercommon is just like a patois of like a lot of words that you still know, like it's similar to common.
Hmm.
You do hear them, what you surmise to be like, make sure none of them is visible, and you hear them apparently checking to make sure that you aren't in trouble, and they say, what's your business here?
I'm
No
I
one
would
to
be
be out there.
up front that we're looking for passage to the surface.
It's not illegal, no?
I'll whisper that to Vic because he was doing the talking.
I guess question, is this where we were thinking there's a exit out?
This is, in everything you know, this of all the races of the Underdark, the one that besides the Drow that you know go to the surface, is the deep groups.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
that was the draw here. The Drow
Okay.
go up surreptitiously, but the
Sure.
deep gnomes go up freely. Like it's
Okay, yeah, I'll say that. I got it mixed up in my mind, I think. Yeah, we're looking for a passage.
oh, huh. Okay. Well, and it's clear they're not really sure what to do. They're just sort of fumbling for not really, do we let them in or not? It's more of a like, what do we do now? Question. And then eventually you hear one of them start talking a little bit more assertively, a little bit faster, and they say, the one turns back to you and yells out, okay, well, any trouble, and that includes if you brought anyone in who shouldn't be here, you're out of here in a second.
I don't. You're being very gracious by letting us in. I would hate to complicate that by asking a question of my own, but it seems like you're looking for someone. We're not from here. Is there something wrong, or is there something you're looking out for?
Yeah, anyone who tries to, trouble.
Is there a defined trouble that you were looking for?
I mean, I don't know how good your history is, but yeah, those bastard Drow.
Well,
Agreed on that front.
yeah. I don't know.
You guys friends of the Drow?
God, no.
Are you guys in trouble with the Drow?
Is anyone not in trouble with Drow?
Not currently.
And it's funny, like I'm emphasizing that accent, but the way they say Drow is very like strange. Like it just is it has a little bit of contempt in the word itself, and it's drawn out, and it's very emphasized in every sentence they say.
Well, we've been down in the Underdark here for some time. I can assure you we've killed a fair share of them, so we are no friend of the Drow.
You hear them whispering again, and they say, all right, here's what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna let you in, but we're gonna bring you straight to our chief. Chief Dorbo. Dorbo Diggermatic. And he'll decide if he lets you in further based on the story you tell about why you're here.
I
If
think
you accept those terms,
that sounds fair. Guys, we're gonna talk to the boss right away.
That's great.
all right.
Possibly.
So they drag you through. What happens next is for the bigger, I think for the littler characters who are the small creatures, who are a little bit more spry, higher dexterities, like totally normal experience, right? Like it's just a lot of fast talking, a lot of fast moving in areas that are meant for people your size. For people who are slower and for people who are bigger, it is a lot of ducking. It's a lot of making sure you're not hitting your head, and it's a lot of like squeezing through areas. And so I am going to draw you through. Let's see. Actually, this is what I'm going to do. Can one second. All right. Can you guys all see? Or is it black again? I'm assuming it's black.
Just black.
Looks black.
Okay, give me 1 second. Can you see now? Eldeath,
See
around Eldeath.
Eldeath. Yep.
Okay, so just, I'm not going to drag all 6 of your characters through, so I'm just going to drag Eldeath. So they bring you into this big gate, and then the craziest thing, like you are in the middle of an area that was clearly destroyed a long time ago and has been rebuilt up in the most crazy way. And you are dragged along this path. Now, as you draw through it, at times you see there are walkways above you, and there's guards up on those walkways. And you realize that this is some sort of defensive measure to keep, you guys are following, right? Where I'm drawing. Okay. To protect the city, right? But this is definitely new. Like this was carved out of what the ruins were before, and it's like almost obnoxiously long. Eventually, you go through a tunnel. Oh, sorry. Eventually, yeah, I think I followed that right. It's like a maze for me. Eventually, you go through a tunnel. You go through another set of doors. And let me just make sure I see that.
This is like some kind of mobile phone game trying to follow this
Yeah,
dancing light through the.
Yep, exactly. So you go through this area, sorry, and you see here and here. Sorry, you might not be able to see that. These two things. Can you? Sorry. Yeah. So you can see. So here and here are these 2 towers, and you see in each there's at least 3 soldiers with their arrows pointing at you. And so you get over here. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something of note. This is important. So the tunnel you're now in, it's you can see it's about 30 feet high ceiling, and every 30 feet or so, about 15 feet up, you see a slightly glowing gem embedded in the wall. It lets out a dull hue, and occasionally they pulse, but about every 30 feet in this tunnel you see them. They're not particularly hidden or anything. Sorry, let me go back to description. That's what. So you see the gate here, the gate you came in just now, and the gate you're about to go also have adamantium bands on them. So the construction on this is impressive, to say the least. But everything is still run down. Like, it's very, very clear to you that they are rebuilding, and it's very also clear to you that this is a very paranoid architecture. Okay, so you guys across the threshold and into the city proper, still being accompanied by these guards. And the mood changes a little bit. Not the mood in your immediate circle of the guards, who are clearly ready to like do something if you guys do something, and definitely eyeing the Quiet Goth quite crazily. But around you, you actually see a little bit of normalcy. Like, you see like gnomes putting out their laundry, like, right, and you smell baked goods, and you smell like there is not only a sense of the Underdark, there are clear influences from the surface world here as well, from those who have experienced it. And it's a little bit calmer inside that last gate that you crossed. I'm not going to go into all the details of everything you see here because it's not important for the moment, but eventually you get taken down here. So you get taken through. They're all sort of, it's a little maze-like. They use the natural features of the Underdark, where one tunnel will go down and meet up with the original tunnel. And you're brought all the way down here. If you don't know where you are, move you there. And to meet, and inside, you see 24 or so Svirfneblin, deep gnomes, occupying a very well-lit cavern. You see messenger pouches and messengers moving through in and out of the space, things being delivered, things not being delivered. It's a little bit of a frantic vibe going on in here. You see other groups huddled around stone tables, and there's maps and papers all over it, and they're in very serious discussion. Near the back of the room, you see a dais carved from the rock of the cavern, and on top of it, there are 2 stone desks, and they're facing each other. And there's 2 Svirfneblin, one male, one female, sitting behind the desk, and they are conferring with advisors and with each other. And as you walk in, they turn to you, somewhat surprised that you're here, but also like clearly waiting for you to speak. And I think that's actually where I'm going to leave it today. Like, I think that's, otherwise I'd be doing a lot of information, and then we'd just be repeating it, if that's okay with you. We can go a little bit more, but
no, that seems fair.
Okay.
That's fine.
Thank you, guys. A little bit of a short game tonight, but I wanted to at least put the pieces in place for the next arc. So thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next week and next Thursday, so please join us for that. Tomorrow night we have one of the Candlekeep Mysteries, the community campaign game. Saturday morning I'll be running Eberron Oracle of War, the start of I think the 11th module now that we're on. On Saturday evening we have Kingmaker, DM Dave. Sunday evening we have Call of Cthulhu. Then our whole week repeats again, and so the schedule is down below. You can see it, and with that I'll say thank you to everyone who contributed to Jasper's Game Day, which was a week ago. That was great. Do we have an amount that we helped raise?
Let's see, I think it was 1,033.
Fantastic.
Something like
So
that.
Thanks to everyone who helped out with that and who joined us, even if it was to support us. We appreciate that. And so if you haven't, please join our Discord channel to learn about all the exciting stuff that is going on. And with that, I will say good night. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Kogo.